And one thing we talk about a bit, some people say too much on the platform, is freedom of speech, freedom of expression. That's why we fight the good fight for our young friend Oliver, though he does pretty well on his own, Oliver Jewell up at New Plymouth Boys High School. But a new report is out. There is a new report out from the New Zealand Initiative. It's called Unpopular Opinions, Academic Freedom in New Zealand. I have not read it yet. One of its authors is James Kierstead, and he joins us on the line from the New Zealand Initiative now. James, lovely to have you with us. Good morning to you. You there, James? Oh, we got him? We've got you now, James. That was our problem. How are you?
Yep.
All right, James. Firstly, just tell us how long you've been working on this report, Unpopular Opinions, and what did you set out to do when you began the work?
I've been working on it for about a year, and what we set out to do is really just gather all the evidence, for and against the proposition that there's a problem with academic freedom in the country. So, we looked at testimonies from academics. We have a massive catalog of all the academic freedom incidents, the incidents to do with violations of or threats to academic freedom at New Zealand universities over the past 10 years. We reviewed 5 different surveys, and then we started analyzing that sort of mountain of evidence. And we looked at 3 main threats. So this was the Chinese Communist Party, progressive radicals within the university, and also the problem of managerialism, or some people would call it neoliberalism within the university. So,
okay, the lanyard wearers, I think we call them. We call them the lanyard wearers, don't we, James?
They're managers or administrators rather than academics. I guess that's the important thing. And, the fact that there's so many of them in the university nowadays.
Okay. Why did you signal out the Chinese?
It's not really the Chinese per se, it's the Chinese state. Some people may have seen the recent Stuff documentary. There's quite a lot of evidence now that the Chinese state has tried to interfere in liberal democracies in various ways, including New Zealand.
Yeah.
And we think there's also evidence on the academic freedom front.
Okay. All right, so you've published your findings. Now, can I ask you, is Unpopular Opinions just a set of data that we can read, or have you expressed your opinion as author of the report?
Well, it's a lot of evidence, as I said, but then also we have 3 chapters analyzing the evidence. So we do, put forward our probably unpopular opinions in those sections as well. We have some recommendations at the end as well. We think that university administrators should get more training around free speech and their obligations under the Education Act. We think that there should be an annual academic freedom audit of universities, which includes surveys and a list of any academic freedom incidents that have come up during the year. And we think there should be more internal democracy in the university. But we've left the job of recommending legislation, which we also think is necessary, to the Free Speech Union. So they're going to be coming out with their own report in a few months.
All right, so this is part of a kind of foundation for them to get into it. Can I ask you, James, do we have adequate and true freedom of speech at our tertiary institutions in New Zealand, given the report you've just published and the research you've done?
No, I think that's pretty clear. I think that, a lot of people will feel pretty free because they have their orthodox opinions. And so when we do surveys, not everybody says they feel stifled, but that's partly because, if you have the reigning opinions, then you'll probably feel fine. You're not going to be interfered with. But there's a lot of evidence that substantial minorities of academics, so between 20 and 40%, say that they feel unable to talk about or uncomfortable talking about or unfree to talk about various controversial issues such as the Treaty of Waitangi especially, and also sort of sex and gender. Those are the main ones, but also other ones. So there's a lot of evidence, and if you look at the incidents that have occurred, there's a lot of evidence that if you cross any of these lines, if you actually want to talk openly about one of these controversial topics and you have the wrong opinions, you get in big trouble. Of course, they're not sending you to the gulag or whatever, but talks have been canceled and academics have been investigated. So, this is actually really going on, and we need to do something about it.